Have you ever wondered if there's a kind of power out there that just doesn't fade with time? A real source of guidance for when things get tough? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. The incredible, transforming energy that comes from devotion to Shiva, who you might also know as Bolanath or Mahadev.
I mean, it's a question we all bump into at some point, right? When the road gets rocky and your goals feel like they're a million miles away, where do you even begin to look for that strength that won't quit? So let's dive into one really profound answer to that very question. Okay, so to really get a handle on this source of strength, we've got to kind of shift our perspective a little. It's about looking beyond just the image of a deity. We need to think of Shiva as something much bigger, like a fundamental cosmic energy. You see, this is the energy that's behind everything. The whole cycle of creation, keeping things going, and, well, destruction. But here's the really amazing part. The big idea is that when we connect with this universal energy through what we call devotion, we can actually awaken this incredible potential that's just lying dormant inside every single one of us. So how do we understand this huge cosmic energy? Well, it's often represented through some really powerful symbols. And what's so cool about this is that they aren't just, abstract pictures. They're packed with deep, practical wisdom that we can actually use in our own lives.
All right, let's start with a big one, the Trishul, or the trident. Now, you might look at it and just see a weapon, right? But it's so much more than that. It's actually a powerful symbol that teaches us about something absolutely crucial for a strong life: balance. So let's break that down. Those three prongs on the Trishul, they represent three core forces that are inside all of us. You've got the mind, or man, the intellect, or buddhi, and the ego, ahankar. And the lesson here is just massive. It says that when we learn to control and, harmonize these three powerful parts of ourselves, that's when we get the power to face literally any challenge that life can throw our way.
So the real key here is that the Trishul isn't about fighting battles out there in the world. Nope. It's all about mastering our internal world. That real lasting strength, the kind that doesn't quit, it comes from keeping that inner balance in check. Okay, next up we have the Damaru. That's the small drum. And its sound? Well, think of it as the rhythm of the universe itself. It's that constant beat of change. You know how one thing ends so a new one can begin? It's a reminder for us to just embrace the flow of life because there's always a new chapter about to be written. So these symbols are absolutely packed with wisdom. But it doesn't stop there. We can also learn a ton from Mahadev's example directly. Let's get into some key life lessons that really apply to our everyday actions and the way we think. Shiva is often shown deep in meditation, the ultimate ascetic, and his example teaches us some seriously powerful virtues. First off, never, ever give up. It's pure resilience. Second, it shows us the raw power of determination and self-discipline, the stuff you need to get over any hurdle. And finally, and this one is huge, it teaches us how to keep a stable, courageous mind. Kind of like being a calm rock in the middle of a stormy sea, no matter what chaos is happening all around you.
Now, after hearing all that, you might be thinking, wow, connecting with a cosmic force like that must involve some really complicated rituals, right? But actually, the path it points to is the complete opposite. It's all about a simple, accessible path of pure devotion. And that brings up a really common question people have. Do you need, special ceremonies or expensive offerings to practice this kind of devotion, this bhakti? The answer? It's a big, clear, simple no. In fact, this is why one of Shiva's names is Bolanath, which means the simple Lord. His grace doesn't depend on how much stuff you have, but on the sincerity and the simplicity of your heart. And this leads to a really beautiful and powerful truth, which is that on this path, everyone is equal. It makes no difference if you're rich or poor. Absolutely anyone can find comfort and strength through true, simple, heartfelt devotion. Okay, so how do you actually start to apply all of this? How do you awaken that power inside yourself, especially on those days when you just feel lost or completely overwhelmed? Well, the path forward can really be broken down into three simple steps. First, whenever you're in a tough spot, just remember this divine energy. Think of it like a mental anchor. Second, you can chant his name. It really helps to focus your mind and quiet all that inner noise. And third, and this is the most important one, you consciously bring these teachings, balance, discipline, courage, into your everyday life.
You make them a real part of who you are. And the result of doing this, it's not just about having a stronger mind. It's way bigger than that. It's about tapping into something that is completely boundless. You're filling your entire being, your body, your mind, your soul with this limitless, infinite energy. And that's the kind of energy that gives you the real grit to not just face your challenges, but to actually move right through them. So let's end with a question for you to think about. After hearing about all these ideas, inner balance, unwavering discipline, and simple devotion, which one quality of this cosmic energy would you, personally, most like to bring into your own life? The answer is just for you, of course, and maybe, just maybe, it's the very first step on a truly transformative path.